Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Jesse Swift, and today we are going to review the Krampus.
Saint Nicholas is not coming this year. Instead, a much darker, ancient spirit.
Those are hooves. Elk or a goat?
What kind of goat walks on its hind legs?
His name is Krampus. He and his helpers did not come to give, but to take.
Everybody, hold on to each other.
He is the shadow of Saint Nicholas.
It's Christmas. Nothing bad's gonna happen on Christmas.
Alright, so before I get into my official breakdown of what I liked about the movie, what I didn't like, and just kind of my overall thoughts of the movie, the one thing I wanted to address that was a disappointment to me before even going into the movie, and it's really not by the fault of the movie at all, is that one of my favorite celebrities or, directors, he's a really cool guy, is Kevin Smith. He did Clerks 1 and 2, he did Tusk. He's the owner of the comic book shop from the show, AMC show Comic Book Men. He's a really, really cool guy, huge Batman fan, close friends with Ben Affleck. But anyways, about a year ago, he said that he was going to start going into production. His next project was going to be called either The Anti-Claus or The Krampus, and it was going to be basically the same premise as this movie. So for the first several times I saw an advertisement both in theaters and on TV, I was under the impression that this was Kevin Smith's movie. And then about a day or two before going into the movie, I found out that it wasn't. So my expectations were brought down instantly, but it's probably a good thing. So aside from that, let's just get into what I thought worked about the movie. We'll start out positive because unfortunately I think there's more negative to say about it than positive. What I thought was a strength in the movie was the aesthetics. I think the practical effects were very well handled. Most of what you see, with a few exceptions in the movie, is practical effects. It's built sets, it's design, or good creature design, and things like that. I thought that made the movie a lot of fun and added to it, and if there was a creep factor to be found, I think it would be found in the use of practical effects. I thought the casting, although nobody really stood out as being incredible or Academy Award winning, I thought it was a well cast movie, and the chemistry between the characters came across a lot better in the movie than it actually did in the trailers. And I liked how the family was broken up. There's a lot of diversity there. You had very different types of kids and relatives, grandma and aunts, and they all work together pretty well. And I'm trying to not to dishearten anybody, but I really do kind of have to dig down and reach to find what about the movie was really great. I thought from a distance the design of the Krampus was really cool, and honestly I would put the first 40 to 50% of the movie as a positive. I really enjoyed it up until a point where I feel like there's a tonal shift in the movie, and I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I think if I think of more positives, I'll come back to it. But right now, let's just get to the main problems of the movie, and this is a spoiler-free talk, so don't worry about me ruining the movie for you. But there is a certain point where the movie kind of loses its footing. Like, it starts out as being, it's lighthearted, and then it shifts to what feels like a horror movie. But then it's almost laughable to a point and becomes a B movie, similar in the realms of like a Tremors or something like that. Although I love Tremors, but I just don't feel like that's what this movie wanted to be. There was interesting ways, at first, very interesting ways of how certain characters were getting picked off or taken, etc. But it just became progressively less creative with the monsters as the story progressed, and I found that it was really disappointing. And then as it started getting close to the tail end of the movie, it felt like it was going to have a cookie cutter ending, and it kind of does, but then they throw one last like M. Night Shyamalan twist in there that I feel like really was not earned and did not work for the film, and I think it cheapened it. They had, I don't know, it just felt like there were several cop-outs throughout this movie, and but I guess the bright side is this movie has made me more excited to go see Kevin Smith's film. Hopefully it's still getting made and this guy didn't just come and sweep the rug out from under him and completely ruin his chances of doing a proper Krampus movie, because I think the concept is a lot of fun, and there's certain part of those movies that feel like it's a lot of fun. I guess the warning I can put to everybody out there is, if you saw the trailers and you thought it looked like a good time because you're either a horror fan or a fan of Christmas movies, or perhaps a fan of both, I will tell you that this movie looks like it tried hard to be both so much that it lost the ability to really achieve either standards. It does not feel like a horror movie. At no point did I feel frightened. I didn't jump at anything. I thought the character designs were creepy, but I was never scared or unnerved. And then obviously there's the snow and the element of, you know, the shadow of St. Nicholas and things like that. So there's some Christmas element, and it's about, you know, being hopeful and loving on Christmas and for the holidays. But really, if you go back after the movie and look at it, it doesn't feel like a Christmas movie, which I feel like was a very missed opportunity. And I think we still deserve to have a proper like Christmas horror movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's something that we don't get very often, and I would be really happy to see another take on it. So what's my overall take on the movie? Just going on a 1 to 10 ratio, I'd give it probably about a 6.5. It's not awful, but I feel like it completely missed the marks on what it was trying to do. Worth a Redbox rental. So until next time, I will see you guys later, and may the film be with you always.